From the IMTV Wave Channel 5 studio at Greenville Senior High School, home of the Greenville Green Wave, the Greenville Veterans Memorial Park and Digital Library proudly presents Never Stop Serving. And now, your host, Mike Maloney.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Never Stop Serving. As promised, I have another great example of someone who never stops serving. I'm going to pretty much let him take it over like I always do. This is, I'm sorry, what was your last name again?
Hardy, H-A-R-D-Y.
It's Gary Hardy, and he's from the Motorcycle Club. Go ahead and tell us about the Motorcycle Club first.
Well, I am a member of the United States Veterans Motorcycle Club. We are out of Fairborn. Our chapter was founded in 2012. We pretty much try to spend our time riding our bikes and helping veterans with anything they may need. We have a scholarship fund, a festival out at Rip Rap Roadhouse that we try to raise money. We give quite a bit of money back to our veteran community since some of us are so blessed.
Yeah. How do you normally go about like raising that? Is it poker runs?
Poker runs. We do different types of silent auctions, raffles, things of that nature, and all of that money goes back into the veteran community.
And what is the actual name of the organization again?
The United States Veterans Motorcycle Club.
Motorcycle Club. And it's national?
It is national. We have chapters from New York City, out to Texas, up to North Dakota. We're all over the place.
Great, great. And you serve as an officer there?
Oh no! I'm the new guy. I'm just one of the riders. I help with a lot of the veteran stuff though.
Excellent, excellent, Gary. We appreciate you having in the studios today, and you know we're going to talk about some things today. First, before we get into you know the subject area I want to get into, tell us about yourself. Tell us where you came from. Tell us about your parents, where you grew up, your high school. Maybe any brothers and sisters you'd like to talk about, and then your military service.
Excellent. I grew up in Union, Ohio. I am a grad of Greenville High School's old rival, the Northmont Thunderbolts. I graduated in 1998. Then I have my mother. She lives in Franklin. My father is actually an Israeli citizen. He lives in New York City. I'm a firstborn American, so America means a lot to me because of that. I decided to go into the United States military in 1999. I served in Bosnia, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Got out in 2003, and my sisters have one in New York City, Sarah, and then two here in Dayton, Jennifer and Susie. Married to a beautiful woman, Shannon, and have a little boy named Gavin.
All right. Where do you live now, sir?
I live in West Carrollton.
West Carrollton, right on. And you're a Thunderbolt alumni.
I am a Thunderbolt alumni.
Right on. Northmont High School. And you served in 3 tours?
Three tours, yeah.
Bosnia, where'd you serve at?
I was in Tuzla.
Eagle Base?
Eagle Base, yep.
What'd you do there?
I cleared landmines. We went through some of the areas that hadn't been cleared yet because Bosnia, Yugoslavia in general, is one of the most highly mined countries in the world because of World War II, World War I. So we went through and essentially we practiced because we never actually cleared one. We never found one, which was good. But that's what our mission was there.
Right. And that was your MOS?
I was actually a constructional engineer. I ran bulldozers, road graders, scrapers, and they decided that a bulldozer was the next best thing to start clearing landmines with. So that's what we started to do.
Wow, that is something. And then Iraq was next. What you do there?
Afghanistan was next.
Afghanistan.
I was actually in Bosnia.
What year was Afghanistan?
01. I was first on ground with 3rd Infantry Division.
Okay, yeah.
We got attached to the 10th Mountain. I was actually in Bosnia when 9/11 happened. They sent us home immediately because I was in a highly deployed unit. When we got home, they asked if anybody wanted to go to Afghanistan. Immediately, I raised my hand. I was ready to go.
So when the towers were hit, you were in Bosnia.
I was in Bosnia.
Eagle Base.
I was at Eagle Base and a guard tower.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so then you came home, went to Afghanistan. What did you do in Afghanistan?
Cleared over 300 landmines in Bagram Air Base.
Real ones?
Real ones. We built Bagram Air Base. My unit did. We went in with with Special Forces units, with the CIA units in the Mazar-e Sharif. Went back to a place that was undisclosed. Then we went back into Bosnia, into Bagram, or not Bosnia, but Afghanistan, and built Bagram Air Base.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. We just had Marion Plummer, the 3rd District VFW commander.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Bagram, and she shared pictures of Bagram, you know, the showers, the hooches and stuff like that. I'll bet you it's completely different.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, obviously it looks nice what she had, but when you first move into an area, it's not nearly that nice.
There were still villagers riding their bicycles through the base with
Right.
RPGs on the back.
Right,
And
at the time, yeah.
At the time, and that was just normal.
It's just so completely different
Yep.
from a build-up area to when you first go in there.
Absolutely.
And that's certainly something. Well, that is really something there that you know you were the first at Bagram. All right, so then you were there for a year.
I was actually
Or
there
almost-
for 6 months.
6 months?
Since we had just gotten back from Bosnia, as soon as there was another engineering unit that was trained and ready, and we had completed the majority of our mission, they went ahead and sent my unit home after about 6 to 9 months.
Right.
They kind of cycled us in. Since I had just gotten back from Bosnia, before we went, they allowed me to go home fairly sooner than the rest of our unit.
Yeah. And now, I guess that leads me into some of the pictures you provided us. One of the pictures is that the mine? Is that the mine cleaner that we have?
The bulldozer?
The bulldozer.
Absolutely. That was called an MCAP.
Walk us through that. We're gonna show that picture. Walk us through that. Tell us what that is. That's an interesting vehicle, man.
That is a Caterpillar D7G bulldozer
Uh-huh.
with 3/4 inch thick tank armor. It's called an MCAP dozer, mine clearing anti-personnel dozer. What we would do is we'd climb into it, it would latch, and we could hit anti-personnel mines all day long without any damage to us personally as far as physical harm. A lot of mental harm because you hear that rattling all day long, you feel your dozer shake, and you don't know if you hit an anti-tank mine, you're no longer going to be with us. So there was always that unknown, but that bulldozer, I trust it with my life. I cleared a lot of landmines with that dozer. And
Really?
That picture's actually in Life magazine. Life magazine came and did a.
Is that yours?
That was me.
And it was in Life magazine.
Yes, and that was
Wow.
me in that bulldozer.
Wow. Wow. And we can get the rest of the pictures also, but I want to get through your chronology life first. You leave Afghanistan after 6 months. Then what do you do?
Then we go back to my unit, and in 2003, turned in all my gear. I was supposed to be getting out of the military. I was finished. President Bush decided it was time to go in and take out Saddam Hussein, and Congress issued what's called a stop loss. And the day before I was supposed to ETS and turn in my gear, my commander said, "Go get your gear back. You're going to Iraq with us." So in March 25th, we went into Iraq, which was last Friday was my 13-year anniversary of invading Iraq. It was shortly after my buddy Voodoo went in with the Marines in Nasiriyah with the ambush. That guy's a true hero, by the way. And then also when Jessica Lynch got taken hostage, it was in that same time period.
Right.
We went to Talil Air Base and built up Talil Air Base.
But you did the same thing, minesweeping.
Actually, we did, but I didn't clear any landmines in Iraq. We didn't hit any. We hit some mass graves, things of that nature. But in Iraq to me wasn't debilitating like Afghanistan was. Iraq, you knew who the enemy was for some reason, because after our Marine unit went through, there were none there. They pretty much took them out, and there was no landmines, and so we built fuel points and things of that nature. I only was in Iraq for about 5 months because they lifted the stop loss and let me go home.
All right, and you, Gary, you mentioned that debilitating, and I want to get to that. What do you mean by debilitating?
PTSD. I was diagnosed with PTSD about 2 years ago. I got out in 2003. It took me about 11 years to realize that my drinking was for a reason, and I couldn't run from the nightmares and things of that nature. I saw a lot of bad things when I was in Afghanistan, and those things live with you. I saw a young man commit suicide, one of our soldiers, because he was scared. And that young man's right here on my arm. It haunts me. It haunts me. I see it all the time. But there is a means to the end of it. You learn to deal with it.
Yeah.
You learn to talk to your spouse, and but Afghanistan, the nightmares, you always hear mortars, always hear landmines, always looking around your shoulder. I'm always on alert.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't in a school right now, I'd have a weapon on me. It's that debilitating. You're always trying to protect those around you. It's my job to make sure that whether I'm in the military or not, to protect America, and it's hard to turn that off.
Yeah. And you're being treated for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually 80% service-connected disabled for PTSD.
PTSD. If you, as best you can, and I know you're doing a good job of it, you're doing a very good job of it, please try to tell everybody watching what it's like. What is it? A lot of people are not sure maybe what it is, and by us not knowing what it is, maybe some of us have it and it is debilitating to us, and we don't realize it. Can you kind of help us?
Well, every case of PTSD is different. Every individual suffers from different symptoms. So I can speak on my symptoms. My symptoms, if you've ever sat and daydreamed, and you're just looking, and 5 seconds, 10 seconds later, you come to and you're like, oh, wow, I was just daydreaming. Sometimes that lasts for 15, 20 minutes with me.
Oh, really?
I go back. Certain things take me back. I've been driving on the highway, and I know it's fake, and I still see the road normal, but on the sides of the road, I might see something that resembles being back in Afghanistan, and all of a sudden I'm looking for roadside bombs and sleep. I haven't had a good night's sleep since 1999 when I went into the military. Last night I slept for about 3 hours.
Have you had a sleep study?
I have, and they said that there's no sleep apnea. I just toss and turn and have nightmares all night.
Wow.
They tried to give me all this medicine, the VA. That stuff doesn't work. I had to stop taking all that because it was making it worse. I was sleeping, and really, to be honest with you, for me, the best way to deal with my symptoms of nightmares, not sleeping, is to talk to my wife and to write it down.
Yeah. So the best advice you could give anybody is to talk to them.
Talk to somebody. Get treated.
Reach
for
out.
it. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't make you less of a man because you suffer from something for helping your country. It doesn't make you any less of a man. So get help.
It actually gives you more courage when you get out there and willing to do it. You know, getting out there willing to reach out to somebody.
It's very hard. It's very hard sometimes.
Yeah. What are some what are some other symptoms that we should all look for that maybe you don't have that is more common, or you say that the symptoms vary. What are some other symptoms that you know of?
Extreme alertness. Sometimes people have some severe mental issues to where they really can't get back from the war, and they're constantly angry always, and some of those individuals end up in prison. They're doing things just because they feel like there's no hope, nobody cares. Some people have a sense of hopelessness, feel like everybody's just forgotten about them, which I don't believe that's the case in America. We have a lot of them that become drug and alcohol users. I mean, I was a severe alcoholic for years until I realized, hold on a second, I'm drinking for the wrong reasons. So a veteran that is sitting around and drinking nonstop, they may need some help. They may not be drinking.
It may be an indicator.
They may not be drinking because they have to drink. They may be drinking to hide something because they can't deal with the pain of what they're dealing with internally. There's other signs of like irritable bowel syndrome, the nervousness, anxiety, shaking, the smells. Some people have different smells that they were exposed to. I mean, the symptoms could be limitless. It's all based on the individual and what's causing them to have problems, and you have to deal with those problems because they just compound upon each other.
Gary, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you sharing this. Let me ask you a couple more things. Are you recalling incidences that occurred to you, or is it more?
I have, not to go into extreme details, but I have nightmares of different incidences mixed with different things from the military mixed with different things that have happened to me in my personal life, and they mash together. So therefore, there's different events that I didn't like even before I went in the military that bothered me that now mixed together with.
So it's kind of a mixed nightmarish.
It's pretty
rough. That's the best way to.
Yeah, it reoccurs. It reoccurs.
Wow.
Sometimes I don't have them.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do, and when I do, It used to take me days to get over it. Now it takes me hours.
Yeah.
Because you just learn to, hold on a second, I just need to call my wife, she's there for me, or call my brothers in my motorcycle club because they're there for me.
Yeah. All right, do me one more favor. Look in the camera. If you think you have PTSD, what should you do, Gary?
Go to your local VA. Go to your local VA, start talking to counselors. Go to your local vet center. The vet center is a sidecar off of the VA with the same funding, and they will help you. Talk to somebody. Don't be afraid.
Talk to somebody. Don't be afraid. If reach out to anyone. If for some reason you're watching this show and you don't know who to reach out to us. Our email and stuff like that is at the end. And if we don't know how to help you, we'll find out who can.
Oh, remember, 22 veterans a day kill themselves.
Yes,
I don't want you
it's
out there to kill yourself.
It is appalling. Yes, it is. We'll move into a little happier stuff.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about your pictures that you gave us. We talked about the Minesweeper one. To me, that is fascinating. I was an MP in the Army, and I dealt with the engineers fairly often, but Minesweeper, I never realized how that worked. That picture you have is something.
I will say, as debilitating as it feels sometimes, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun going through some of those minefields.
Right. It's okay. So now this next picture, we have a group at a restaurant there. Looks like your motorcycle group, right?
Those are my brothers. Those are my brothers at the club.
Now, the one guy there I recognize. I think I met him. That's how we linked up.
It's probably Elmo, our president.
Yeah, very good. Okay. And then we got one that looks like you're doing a presentation with a flag.
Yes, that presentation is to Fox Shooting Loft. Libby Duquesne out at Fox Shooting Loft is one of our motorcycle club's biggest supporters. So what we did is, after our Vet Fest, we took a flag that had dropped in because we had parachutists drop in at our Vet Fest, took one of those flags and framed it for her, because Libby, we wouldn't be financially as a club where we would today without Libby Duquesne. So everybody support Fox Shooting Loft if you ever go out into Enon area.
All right, and then the next picture, it looks like you're on some ruins there on the steps there.
That is the ziggurat in the city of Ur in Iraq. The city of Ur is also known as the birthplace of Abraham,
right?
From the Bible, which I don't have pictures of that, but we walked around that. But that ziggurat was, I believe, to the moon god, which was another sanction probably before Christianity and Abraham had ever come about. That is a very, very interesting piece of history. It was really neat to be
right, and very old ruins.
Very old. That was thousands of years old. It was in the BC times, so.
Yeah. Okay, tell us about the tank.
That was an old Russian tank in Yugoslavia. That was my...
T-72, right?
Yes, it's T-72. You know your tanks.
Yeah, right on.
That was my buddy Frankie Hernandez. He ended up going to Iraq with us, and then he moved to Macedonia. That T-72 tank with my buddy Frank, that was in a field in Srebrenica.
Srebrenica.
And that tank was a casualty of the old Srebrenica. It was a genocide. That tank actually hit a landmine back then, and had been sitting there for like 12 years, 13 years at the time. Yeah.
And now the next one, it looks like you're with your buddies there and sitting there in the brown T-shirt in a tent. Is it?
That was after a long day of clearing landmines. All the soot on our face was from the smoke of the landmines.
Who are those two other guys?
That was Brett Sustar. He actually lives in Cleveland. And then the other one is John the Animal Gillespie. He lives out in Arizona.
John the Animal Gillespie.
I actually met up with him a year ago, and it had been the first time I'd seen him in like 11 years.
All right, you have to tell him when this shows to show him there's a shout out there to him. And then lastly, I imagine this is probably your most precious one. This is your family.
That is actually this past Easter. That's my beautiful wife Shannon, and then my son Gavin. That woman Shannon. I tell you, if it wasn't for her, I probably would have been one of those 22. So shout out to my wife and thank you.
And remember that when you're dealing with PTSD. Family, you mentioned it. Family is the most important ingredient there. So that's really cool, Gary, that you've shared all that. It's really cool that you've told us what to look for there in that with what you're doing with your motorcycle group, and that you're in here spilling the beans and telling us about PTSD. I really appreciate it. that in your own way, you're not never stop serving, and I appreciate that. Anything else you'd like to share with us today?
No, God bless America, and thank
Yeah.
you for your service.
Hey, thank you, Gary. Appreciate it. Everyone, thank Gary. And again, if you've got troubles, reach out to us or reach out to someone. Just at least say something to someone. While we're on the topic, motorcycle club, our own VFW here in Greenville is having a poker run in July. Hopefully our folks here at IMTV can bring up the graphic right now. Check out that poker run there in July. It's our next big event. Besides that, next week we're headed to Las Vegas. We're hoping to shoot some remote Never Stop Serving in Las Vegas. We'll see how that turns out. And then the week after that, we'll be back in the studio. So after that, we'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. Please visit us on our social media sites. Please consider contributing to our mission in some way. Also, we are always looking for veterans and their families to share their stories with us. Be sure to join us next week for our next episode of Never Stop Serving.